2001: A Space Odyssey was made in 1968 and directed by Stanley Kubrick, with film editor Ray Lovejoy, cinematographer Jeffrey Unsworth, sound editor Winston Ryder, and sound mixer H.L. Bird. The film begins with the birth of technology, with apes who later evolve into humans. When the apes encounter a black monolith, one of the apes realize they can use a bone as a tool to get food. This source of technology links humanity's evolution to kill for power. Like the apes, Dr. Dave Bowman realizes that HAL 9000 made a mistake and wants to exterminate him to gain power. In Richard Barsom and Dave Monahan's book, Looking at Movies, wild sounds are recorded live in a separate environment and edited onto the film. In the opening scene of 2001: A Space Odyssey, we see a group of apes. The sounds that the apes make were recorded of real ape families in Africa. The functions of sound in film directly communicate meaning through dialogues or narration. It supplements and intensifies the world created by visual elements through sound effects and score. It creates a sense of spatial and temporal dimensions. It raises viewer expectations and creates a rhythm. In 2001: A Space Odyssey, there are two kinds of songs played that we will focus on. One is also Sprach Zarathustra, composed by Richard Strauss, and the second one is the Blue Danube Waltz, composed by Johann Strauss II. In blog.cinemaautopsy.com, Thomas Caldwell suggests, as the distinctive notes and crashing drums of Richard Strauss, also Sprach Zarathustra, are heard for the final time to once again signal the next giant step for humanity, we are left with what we are to assume is what Bowman has become, an unborn child floating in space looking down on planet Earth. This dramatic final shot contains a sensation of awe and triumph, and then the repeat of the Blue Danube Waltz over the end credits reinstates a sense of hope and beauty with this outcome. The Blue Danube Waltz is played in the film where it signifies a sign of accomplishment, and Thomas Caldwell confirms, saying, "The use of music and movement is designed to give the impression of machines waltzing, which is the ultimate expression of the state of grace that humanity-built technology has now achieved." The music played in Frank Poole's birthday scene, where Poole's parents call to wish him a happy birthday, gives you a feeling of isolation and emptiness with no emotions flowing. Thomas Caldwell states, "The music that Kubrick uses during the scene evokes the lonely emptiness of space, but if Bowman or Poole feel melancholia or any other emotion, then they don't show it. Even when Poole receives a birthday message from his parents on Earth, he barely registers any emotion." In Richard Barsom and Dave Monahan's book, Looking at Movies, states, "Editing is the basic creative force of filmmaking. It's the process of selecting, arranging, and assembling the essential components of a movie, visual, sound, and special effects, to tell a story in a unique way. The editor shapes the movie you experience, controls what you see, when you see it, its speed and pace, and what you understand and feel about all of this." In the opening scene, we view an ape man rejoicing in his new tool, a bone, by throwing it up in the air where a match cut happens, and it becomes a more refined, high-tech tool, the spaceship. Caldwell tells us, in one of the greatest graphic match edits ever depicted in cinema, Kubrick cuts from the bone being triumphantly thrown into the air to a satellite in orbit 3 million years later. This dramatic cut links the two objects as tools of humanity, but also draws attention to the vast difference between them. One is a crude and earth-bound tool or a weapon with a simple function, while the other is a sophisticated and complex object that has left the planet to now serve humanity in space.